Enough to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne. You'll never know till it's over.
Hello YouTube. At the suggestion of Joe Feliciano, I hope I pronounced that right. If I'm sorry, I apologize. I mean, if I didn't, I apologize. He suggested I do a video on the mental strengths of being in prison and getting out, after you get out. I kind of covered this before, but I'm going to do this again. So if you're new, subscribe. Please share this. This is kind of an important topic to a lot of people, and me included. So when you go to prison, I mean, it's without a doubt, you have to be mentally strong. If you're not going to make it. And I've even seen people who were mentally strong, could deal with a lot of different situations, crumble after many years. I know this one guy, when I was at Missouri State Penitentiary, knew him for a long time, and he was all right, I mean, he was strong mentally. Wasn't the strongest physically, but that didn't matter, he could handle himself. He could deal with being in the hole, all of that. He could deal with it. They transferred a bunch of us to Farmington Correctional Center. He was one of them. Farmington Correctional Center was in his hometown of Farmington. Every day we had yard. We could get out every day, morning and afternoon, and then sometime even in the evening. He started going out and getting as close to the fence as they would allow him, and just sitting there and looking outside the fence. Day after day. There's people that would laugh at him, make fun of him, what's he doing? A lot of us older guys, we didn't laugh at him. And he slowly deteriorated mentally. And that happens to people. Long-term segregation, administrative segregation or solitary confinement, they'll call somebody that takes a toll on you mentally, and I don't care who you are. I used to, sometimes when I'd go to the hole, I never tried to go to the hole. But when I did go to the hole, it seemed like it was a break from all the BS that was going on in the yard. But some people can't deal with being in the hole. And some people thrive in the hole. There's people who go down there to make money. They make tobacco runs. But I'm talking about long term now. Imagine being in there weeks, months, years, like Tommy Silverstein. They even had his own cell, specially made after a while. It wears on you. But just to deal with the people, when you first get to prison, you gotta be mentally strong. If you're weak, people are gonna prey on you. And what I mean by mentally strong, I don't mean like you come in with a disability or anything like that, mental disability, anything. That's not what I'm talking about. You gotta have the strength to deal with confrontations, the mental strength. You have to have, because all this is, if you scroll up, you enter the prison, and people just come up and they start pressing you, and you cannot deal with it, you're not going to make it. You're going to become a victim. But, so there's that, and there's dealing with the guards. You know, not all guards are good guards. I mean, there are some good ones, but there's some bad ones too. Sometimes the staff will harass you. Sometimes they may put you in a hole for something you didn't do, but they legitimately think you did do it. Or sometimes they may put you in a hole, like they did me one time, for something that was their fault, but they blame me. That happened in South Central Correctional Center. I was mad. I was livid. Because they didn't want to take responsibility. So they threw it off on me, and there's no way I could have done what they said that I did. I did a video on it. Basically what it was is they started taking the mics out of stereos. And in fact, when you bought them, you get it and it already have the mic out of it. I guess they forgot to take the one out of the one I bought. They found out it had a mic in it, threw me in the hole. They said I should have told them. I didn't even know it was there because I thought you guys had taken it out. But I did 4 months in the hole for that. Under investigation while they listened to all my cassettes to make sure there was no staff on there. And that's what it's really all about, is they are afraid we're going to record the staff doing something they're not supposed to. That's the reason they started taking them out to start with. But anyway, so if you got a lot of time to do, like I did 29 years, and I'm glad that most of that wasn't in the hole, but there's people who's done as much time as me, longer, and most of their time is in the hole. Can you imagine their mental state? And they're also, it's not just going to the hole. That amount of time takes its toll on you, and I didn't even realize that until I got out. I mean, it affects different people differently. There's people out now that say they have nightmares and dreams about prison, about going back to prison. I haven't had any dreams or anything like that. But it's the day-to-day things. So we're going to talk about that too, getting out. You know, when I got a release date, I was ecstatic. I was happy. And then the day I was to get out, I was both happy, nervous, scared, all that, all rolled into one. And it wasn't long after I got out that I started having health problems. Most of it was physical, but I did not realize how much the prison affected me, and especially the first prison I was in. It's weird that the first prison that I was in, which was in 1988 to 1993. That's when I was there. That was a long time ago. I got transferred to other prisons. Never thought about that prison, except if it was brought up in conversation. And now I get out and that place haunts me. I mean, it's just, I can see a bunch of people standing outside a building in a line, and I see it'll change to a canteen line. I can see something happen, and all of a sudden what I'm seeing in front of me will change to some prison scene. But that part of it, I've gotten where I can control, because it only usually lasts a few seconds, maybe 5 seconds. I think I've done pretty good at controlling it. It's happened during my live streams a couple times. Once, I think, during my live stream, and that's only because somebody said something, And then I responded to it, and it just brought back a memory. But the memory was just not like in my head, just like it came out in front of me. But I think I did pretty good at controlling it. But there's things where if I go into a restaurant, I got to be sitting with my back to the wall where I can see everybody. One of my subscribers, Mark Tashanka Woodco, you guys know him. You guys who watch regularly know him. He came down to see me, and we all went to this restaurant. That thing was packed. And going in there, and when I seen it was packed, and they put us at this table in the middle of the restaurant. We were surrounded. And there's people moving all around, people moving behind us. But I want to tell you guys something. I've been in other crowded restaurants, and where it's real crowded like that, and been real nervous. But when we sat down there, Mark said, "Hey, you watch my back, I'll watch yours." And all of a sudden, all that nervousness, all that anxiety, that stress that was building up just went away. Yeah, I was still on alert. I was still watching around me. I was still, people moving. I'd look at them, glance, But I was calm. And it was all because he said those words. And I knew I could depend on him. And he damn sure could depend on me. And so I want to say a thank you to Mark for that. I already have, but I want to say it again. But, I've heard people talk about they having dreams and stuff. And, thank God I don't have any of that. I can't imagine going through that. That camera turned off. But like I said, I can't imagine having the bad dreams and stuff. And actually, when I start hearing other people talk about it, I'm thinking, man, I hope that doesn't happen to me. I don't know what I'd do. I don't know how I'd respond to it. But it hasn't. But another thing that people have to deal with when they get out, especially if they've done a lot of time, is interacting with other people. I remember when I first got out, I guess I was out about a month, and I was in this store, and this guy cut in front of me. And then my first thought, I kind of tapped him. I said, "Hey, you trying to punk me out?" That was my first thought. And I could see on his face he did not know what I was even talking about. He did not even know that he'd cut me off. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I need to control myself. I need to check myself. We're not in prison no more. But at the same time, I was also thinking, people out here need to be aware of their surroundings, man. I don't know what's wrong with them. They walk around, phones in their hand, looking at their phones. Seen a kid one time, phone in his hand, and he tripped over a curb. You guys need to be aware of what's going on around you. And just realize, too, that not everybody you meet, come across to, it's going to be nice, Like I said, I checked myself, but there's others. People have told me this too, when they got out and somebody's cut in front of them and it was on. But it also applies to where you're living at. You got an ex-con living with you. Just realize he thinks different than you. For years, he's been doing things a certain way. And you got to be patient with him. I'm thankful that Mindy kind of understood, and she was patient with me. You know, instead of folding my clothes up, I'd roll them up, put them in a drawer. All this is kind of funny, though. And, you know, everything I'd roll up like you do in prison, you know, and put them in your locker. I still, when I brush my teeth, spit in the toilet. There's a lot of things I do that out here that I did in prison, and some people may think it's weird or whatever, but to me now, brushing your teeth and spitting in the sink is not only weird, it's nasty. That's just me. I'm not putting anybody down who does that. I just won't do it. I spit in the toilet. But it's just little things. And sounds. Smells and certain sounds may bring back something from prison, you know. And do not come up behind, if there's an ex-con living with you, do not try to sneak up on them. Little Ethan used to do that when I first got out. I don't know why he did it. He doesn't do it anymore. But he was just having fun, you know, and he wasn't thinking about what it did to me. But he tried to sneak up on me, and many times he wouldn't. He couldn't do it. So it became like a game with him. And, but one day he was standing behind this door. And I went through and he jumped out and I almost hit him. And I mean, it caused me to cry. Because, I mean, I love that kid. And I begged him. I said, don't do that, please. Do not do that. I could not live with myself if I punched him. And so he's never done it again. And he apologized. And I said, you don't have to apologize. I know you're just trying to have fun. No need to apologize. Just don't do that again. I said, if anything, I should be apologizing. I remember getting out. We went to back to my hometown, and me and a friend, we drove to this other small town that's not too far from the last maximum prison I was in, South Central Correctional Center. And when we pulled into the store, there's a car pulled in beside us, and 2 COs got out. The first thing I said was, crap, 5-0. And my buddy said, he goes, hey man, they can't do anything to you. You're out of prison now. So anyway, we go in, and I recognized one of them, the older one. The younger one, I don't know who he was. And but as we're going through the store, you know, and we made eye contact. Me and the older one did, and he kind of nods and I nod. We didn't say nothing to one another. Anyway, me and my friend get in line, and they're in front of us. And the older one was right in front of me, and he keeps looking back. All right, YouTube, this is the 3rd time trying this. So anyway, I told you we were standing in line, and the guards were in front of us, and the older one was right in front of me. He kept turning around and looking, and I kept. After about the 3rd time, I told him, man, you're all good. So that just goes to show, you know, that even COs in prison, they're used to being aware of their surroundings. And and I guess because he knew I was an ex-con, he was kind of being cautious. But that's just the mentality, you know. CEOs, when they go to work, you know, it's kind of like firefighters and police. They don't know if they're going to come home. And sometimes I think, depending on the prison, the danger is even worse for CEOs. A lot of people think it's all about the convicts having trouble, but it's all, you know, and it affects your mind. You know, I know ex-CEOs who have PTSD, dealing with things mentally, you know. I talk to one regularly. So anyway, that's all I got for you, Joe. I hope I answered your questions. I hope this is the video you want. If you have any more questions, just let me know. Anybody has any more video suggestions, let me know. And I'll try to do them. And if I've already done it, I'll let you know. And if I think I can do a better one, then I'll do it. Because sometimes I look at my old videos and I think, man, I'm just going to redo that one. If it's a good one, though, sometimes I'll re-upload it. But please share this, because I think this is an important topic for everybody. And everybody should know about this. And I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.